Hi everybody, DUGROZ here with DUGROZ Reports. Welcome to another episode of Frugal Points, the series where I drive in my car and talk to you about the philosophical side of points and miles. Let's dive in. Today's thought: one must go. One of these three credit card issuers: Wells Fargo, Capital One, or Citi. What crazy thing did Citi do? That's from Frequent Miler, if you're wondering. Anyhow, yeah, so in my case, my number one transferable currency, I wouldn't say with a bullet, but fairly obviously, is Chase. That's the ecosystem I get the most use out of. But I also have American Express, which is sort of like I keep the Blue Business Plus, but everything else is just a sign-up bonus here and there from a transferable point of view, excluding cashback, excluding Hilton, etc. So I'm not going to put them in this exercise, but the other three transferable currency ecosystems are Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and Capital One. And just for the sake of a fun exercise, let's say I have to eliminate one of those. Which one am I going to eliminate? Well, let me think this through a little bit. First, I'll make the case for each of those ecosystems in order of obtaining them. So I would start with Capital One. Now, just by dumb chance, my oldest credit card on file, or on my credit report, is my Capital One Venture One card, which is now 24 years old. And funny story, when I was in the creator meetup in New Orleans, I was talking to a couple different people, well, three different people, and some funny comment about Gen Xers versus Millennials versus Gen Z came up. And I said something like, well, why are you poking fun at millennials? Aren't you guys all millennials? Like, no, we were all born on or after 2000. We're Gen Zers. And I instantly aged 12 years and said, my oldest credit card is older than you. So that was kind of funny. But anyhow, Capital One. So what does Capital One have it going in its favor? Well, in addition to the aforementioned Venture One card, which basically does nothing for me, but I keep it around because it's my oldest card, I have the Venture X card, and obviously that does all the heavy lifting. I would love it if I could product change my Venture One to a Saver One, and I check about every single week, and for the last 3 years they haven't let me, even when a bunch of people were being allowed to do it. For some reason, they just don't see that as something they want to allow me to do. So, Venture X. What do we know that has? Well, it has 2x on everything. Meh, that's pretty common. That's not really a big deal. It does have primary car rental. Well, that's kind of a good deal. And it has some other travel protections. I'm not sure what they are. But the primary car rental one is probably the one that interests me the most because, as we know, they also have the kind of force you to use their portal for at least $300 a year to get your value out of the card. You got your $400-ish annual fee. They give you $300 a year of portal credits and 10,000 points, which in theory you could cash out for $100, or not cash out, but erase your travel for $100. So they give you $400, they charge you $400. In theory, it's a break-even card. Discussion about, valuing that travel portal at full value is legit, but I'm not going to bother to go into that day. It's close enough that I'm satisfied. I also like that, at least with Hertz, and I've heard people say they did it with Enterprise, although I can't verify that, you can put in your member number and it'll show up on their app and you can manage it through there, and whatever benefits you have you still get. Like with Hertz, for example, I can skip the line. Now, downside to all this is they are in negotiations as to whether or not you'll get Hertz President Circle next year. So it's not guaranteed that'll continue to 2025. But I've had a couple good experiences using their portal. Rental car stuff went smoothly through it. So even though I'm just breaking even, I don't really dislike it. It's okay. I've used the travel eraser a few times. I've transferred out to partners a few times. If you ask me which ones, I don't remember. I think Wyndham once for a small amount, maybe a top off or keeping my points alive. I think British Airways once or twice, maybe even KLM, Air France once, Flying Blue. I don't really remember. But lately I've been using that travel eraser for Lyft and Ubers, which I only use when I travel. I don't really have a reason to use them around Des Moines, Iowa, because I mostly work from home, and the one day a week I go into the office, I drive my own car, much like I'm doing right now. But something I really like about Capital One is their lounges. So I used the Denver lounge just 2 days ago, and I took a shower in the lounge. Man, I love showering in a lounge because A, small market airport with me being in Des Moines, Iowa. B, I'm getting home late. I don't have to take another shower after I get home, so that makes my wife happy because I don't have to wake her up late at night because our shower is right next to our bedroom, and she doesn't want me to come home stinky, but it also bothers her when I run the shower late at night. So that's a win-win if I can shower at the airport. And just a way better situation than being out with the plebeians in the terminal. So I might keep Capital One just for the lounge access, plus combine that with the fact that it's my oldest credit card. You've got maybe not a gold medal, but I think somewhere between a bronze and a silver. I'll maybe say a silver medal there. All right, so next ecosystem of the ones we're considering eliminating, Wells Fargo. I got a Wells Fargo card back in 2007. It's the grandfathered Visa Signature card by Wells Fargo, also known as the Golden Ponies card. Credit Filmo on that name. Which doesn't do a lot for me. It does give me 1.5x on flights through their portal, which I haven't used in like 4 years, but I could use it someday. And since it's no annual fee, and I have the ecosystem anyway, it's not really hurting anything. Otherwise, with Wells Fargo, I have an autograph card, and that's 3x on gas, dining, and transit, like parking. And then I think other travel, but don't quote me on that because I don't really use it for other travel. But again, no annual fee card, so it's not hurting anything. Even if it's just transit, dining, and gas, just those three, it's fine. It's pretty good. Had a 0% interest rate for the first year, which I took advantage of to spread out some payments. So again, no annual fee, no harm done. You've also got your 2x cards with Wells Fargo, both no annual fee. You got a business version in the Signify, personal version in the Active Cash, and even though those are marketed as cash back cards and you can cash out, you can also transfer them over to your Autograph or Autograph Journey and cash out that way. I don't take advantage of the Autograph Journey. I did a whole other video on why I don't think it maths out, especially in the in the respect of road trips. Sorry, you have to stare into the sun here. I might do some creative editing. There is a use case for the Autograph Journey. I don't think it's for me, but say what you will. They might have an advanced card someday, but they haven't come out with it as of the date I'm recording this, so I can't really take that into consideration. In terms of like transfer partners I've used or like, I did this big transfer to Choice to take advantage of an I Prefer hotel called the Salamander Resort last summer, and that was really swank. That was really nice, although those I Prefer hotels have been devalued seriously, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to ever repeat that fancy trick. But even like, I stayed at a Country Inn back in April, which was perfectly cromulent, so I like that as a 1-to-2 transfer partner. I feel like that kind of makes Citi's offering in that transfer partner a little bit obsolete. And I think Wells Fargo is only going to add transfer partners. I don't think I've ever transferred to British with them, but I could. Like I said, because I have that weird grandfathered card, I could do 1.5 on flights in their portal. I also do my personal banking with Wells Fargo, so it's just easy. And then on my wife's side of the equation, she has the one key card, which is like the ExpediaHotels.com card. We're kind of just experimenting with that here in the first year. One interesting thing I found out just today is that the one key card is coding in-person purchases at both Walmart and Target as grocery. So that one key card is getting 3x at Walmart. So that's kind of nice. It gives 2x on everything. Gas, grocery, dining, all at 3x. Again, including Walmart is apparently a grocery store, and Target. So that's kind of nifty. Time will tell if we keep that card or not. I think there's a discussion to be had around the Attune card, which is good in some circumstances, although I think, overplaying category bonuses is kind of pointless. So Wells Fargo, the main thing they bring to the table to me right now is Choice Hotels, that 1-to-2 transfer, all in my portfolio, no annual fee cards. So in that sense, nothing but a good thing. So I guess that's Wells Fargo. Citi, what crazy thing does Citi bring to the table? Well, you've got your Strata Premier, 3x on gas, grocery, and dining. Unlike the Autograph, though, they do charge an annual fee, $95 a year. And yes, you can get retention offers pretty easily, but last time I got a retention offer, it was kind of this stupid, spend $1,000 a month, 3 months in a row, jump through hoops rigmarole that I didn't love. So yeah, that's fine, but other than uncapped 3x transferable on grocery, it's not really unique. And in fact, if I could get approved for the Sabre One over in Capital One, it would be completely duplicative and obsolete. I do have the Rewards Plus card, which will get me an extra 10% back on my redemptions up to $100,000 a year. So functionally, that would be like, it would take my 3x categories up to 3.3. But if you think about it, 10% of 100,000 points is only 10,000 points a year, which is, better than nothing. It doesn't do a lot of harm, but I'm not sure that would be a real compelling argument to keep the rest of the ecosystem around. And then Custom Cash. Custom Cash is a good card. If it was either uncapped or a higher amount, it would be a lot more impressive. The fact that it's capped at $500 a month means, 2,500 points, which if I cash that out, that's $25, or you could say $27.50 if you think of it with the Rewards Plus, which is not nothing. It's not terrible, but it's just $25 a month, $300 a year, 30,000 points a year is the absolute most you can get out of it. I mean, that's fine, but that's a lot of work maximizing for 30,000 points a year when, I'm getting 250,000 points on the Amex Business Platinum in my wife's name. A lot of points when you can get 75,000 on the Venture card with a sign-up bonus. It's just not that many points when compared to, the Ink Train. So, yeah, I'm taking a roundabout way home here because I don't want to pull into my driveway on camera. It's just not that compelling or exciting for me. I know some people just love the Custom Cash and get 14 of them or whatever, but I'm like, man, that's a lot of effort and a lot of maximization for 30,000 points a year. And it's not even really 30,000 points a year, because if you're putting it on the Custom Cash, you're not putting it on a 2% card. So you're really only getting an extra 3%, So if you think of it that way, it's 1,500 points a month, which is, quick mental math, penny points here. We're talking 15 times 10 would be 150, 2 more increments, that's 180, add in your 10% back, 198. It's like $198 a year if you maximize it, or 19,800 points a year if you really maximize it, when you consider you could just put it on 2x card for everything. That's a lot of work for an extra 19,800 points a year in that custom cash. I should do a whole ranty video about the custom cash being overrated. It could be as simple as the day is long and probably get a ton of clicks. So, transfer partners, again, you got the 1 to 2 Citi, which is great. 1 to 2 from Citi to Choice, which is great, and I like it, but, you know, it's not unique anymore because Wells Fargo does that. I already bank at Wells Fargo. I don't really like the Citi app very much. I think it kind of stinks, honestly. I mean, it's not terrible, but of the three I mentioned, Wells Fargo, Capital One, and Citi, the Citi app is the least good. It feels very, like, 2009-ish to me, for whatever reason. I don't like the fact that you have to, like, tell them to pool your points together, and yeah, it's just weird. Other transfer partners, yeah, I know they have Turkish. I've never really gotten on board with the Turkish trick of booking cheap domestic economy flights on United. I know I could, but I've just heard, you know, it's a PITA, and the availability's only gotten worse. It's been slightly devalued, not a lot. I think it went from 7,500 to 10,000, which is, you know, still good, if not great in some situations, but I'm not over here throwing a party over that. What other unique transfer partners do they have? Well, they also transfer to Wyndham, but so does Capital One, so that's not unique or compelling for me in any way. So, yeah, I'm probably missing something, but just this driving in my car, shooting from the hip, you know, 100% from memory, not looking up any facts or figures. You probably see where this is going. If I had to eliminate one, I would eliminate Citi. You know, we could even play the game, what is it? Start, cut, or bench. You know, or there's this other less wholesome version that's like kiss, marry, or, well, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so one you start, one you bench, and one you cut. I would cut Citigroup. I would... the other two are pretty close. I could really go either way, but I guess because I had such a good lounge experience recently, I'm going to go with recency bias. I'm going to start Capital One and bench Wells Fargo. I don't want to get rid of Wells Fargo, just until I know, like, their full panoply of transfer partners. I'm just going to put them on the bench status as of now. All right, well, I've gone on long enough. I'm going to drive back towards the sun here. Put your comments down below and let me know what you think of this thought exercise. You got Citigroup, you got Wells Fargo, you got Capital One. Who are you going to bench? Who are you going to start? Who are you going to cut? Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, become a DUGROZ diehard for $3 a month if you want other videos like this that are even more intense, that are only for members, and get early release to videos like this. As always, may your spending be frugal, and may your points be plenteous. Thanks for watching.